Yo, what is good, Jets Nation? Welcome back to Jets Media. This is Richie, and today the media was in attendance for the New York Jets OTAs. We heard from Robert Saleh this morning. Aaron Rodgers was on the field practicing, doing 7-on-7 drills. So in this video, I'm going to give you guys the recap of what happened on the practice field at One Jets Drive for the New York Jets. As you guys know, the media is only in attendance just once a week, it seems, at OTAs. You don't really have one day a week to get a good idea of what's going on at practice. Other than that, we just get to see footage from the New York Jets of videos of Aaron Rodgers throwing up the deep balls and get to see some content from that perspective. But every time the media is in attendance, we get to see exactly what's going on. So that's what we will be breaking down in today's video. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I got a lot of Jets content coming your way all throughout the rest of the offseason, of course, carrying over into the start of the season, which is creeping up, by the way. If you guys enjoy this video, it would mean a lot to me, guys, by simply hitting that thumbs up button and commenting your thoughts of the Jets OTAs and what you saw from Twitter today from Robert Saleh, what he had to say in the press conference, what you saw from the beat reporters. Let me know down below. Now let's get right into it. So first, we're going to talk about what Robert Saleh had to say this morning. So first and foremost, we got to keep talking about the update with Quinnen Williams. And of course, he's going to be asked about that being Robert Saleh, until it gets done. And of course, Robert Saleh had the same thing that he's been saying since the start of this whole situation of the offseason. And Robert Saleh said, quote, about Quinnen Williams' extension: "I'll let the business guys handle all that stuff, but it is going to get done. He'll be here for camp and he'll be ready to roll." So it definitely seems like Robert Saleh, again, is not worried about getting it done. This isn't anything new. We heard Robert Saleh literally say the same thing last week, but I just want to refresh your guys' memories that, hey, Robert Saleh thinks it's going to get done. It's not really up to him. It's up to the Jets business department and Joe Douglas and the financial people, and of course, Quinnen Williams and his camp. All sides want to get it done. I expect it to be done by camp. So does Robert Saleh. So definitely a really good sign. Now, we did get some interesting news today that Robert Saleh confirmed that he is canceling mandatory minicamp this year. And I thought that was a very interesting news to hear about it. Now, Robert Saleh's philosophy behind this is the New York Jets are playing in the Hall of Fame game this year, which is, by the way, the Jets are playing the first game of the football season early in August 3rd, a game way before preseason begins, right? Preseason for the NFL starts the week after the Hall of Fame game. So the Jets have to go into training camp a week earlier than the normal NFL teams not playing in the Hall of Fame game. So Robert Saleh is confident with the work that they got in OTAs, and he's going to give the Jets players an extra week of rest, let them go home. He's not going to do a mandatory minicamp next week, which is basically because he wants this Jets team and the players to have some time to regen, have some time to take some time away from football for a week so they can get back into the swing of things and get ready and prepare their minds, prepare their bodies for training camp, which goes right into the NFL season. So I kind of like that. Robert Saleh feels confident with the work that got done in OTAs, and he's not going to require, he's dismissing everybody. So it's not even just like, yeah, it's you can come to minicamp if you want. No, there's no minicamp at all, because he believes that he wants to get these players ready to get prepared since they're going a week earlier than usual for the Hall of Fame game. So definitely want to give you guys that update because minicamp is not happening this year. Now, I thought that was very interesting discussion to talk about. So let me know your thoughts down below of the New York Jets not having a mandatory minicamp. And I kind of like it. I think Robert Saleh is doing this with a perspective from the players, and I am totally on board. He was also asked about other things, about Dwayne Brown being the left tackle. And, you know, if you guys want to check out the Robert Saleh press conference, I'd highly recommend it. Always great to hear. But there was something interesting about this press conference before we move on to Aaron Rodgers, was the beat reporters kept asking him the same question to start off the press conference. What's it like to have Super Bowl aspirations? What's it like to have a guy in Aaron Rodgers who's talking about Super Bowls? And Robert Saleh just handled it so well. He's like, listen, everybody has Super Bowl aspirations. Every team, all 32. It doesn't matter what the media says about a team. It doesn't matter what the outside noise is about a team. Every single locker room, no matter if you're the best team in the league or the worst team in the league, on paper, should believe that they can go out there and try to win a championship. And I really like that. And he kind of made it seem like, yeah, the same thing was last year. Obviously, the Jets we didn't have, as a fan base, those Super Bowl expectations. But in the building, they did have Super Bowl aspirations last year. Just because Aaron Rodgers is coming here from the outside, it looks way more possible. So the whole idea of that is that Robert Saleh has a championship mindset, and he really believes in this team. And I really thought he handled those Super Bowl championship questions really professionally. And I really like what I heard from Robert Saleh overall. He's just very well spoken, and And just coming from a Jets fan that had to watch Adam Gase at the press conference for a couple of years, it's refreshing to watch Sala handle these questions very well. So let's move on to Aaron Rodgers. I got to show you some footage that we saw from the New York Jets over the weekend, man. Look at this deep ball. I mean, you guys saw this already. This was Aaron Rodgers throwing an absolute bomb to Malik Taylor over the shoulder. Now, this is what we've been waiting to see. Robert Saleh has been talking about this every single time he's at the press conference about every throw Aaron Rodgers makes is just something special. I mean, I know it's just a throw in practice. I know he's in shorts. I know there's no pads. But listen, Jets fans, we've been waiting our whole lives to have a quarterback to even make this type of throw in practice. Just looking over to the left, quickly flipping the hips and just nuking the ball 50-plus yards down the field on the money. It's a beautiful thing. And then here's another clip of him throwing an absolute laser beam to CJ Uzomah with a tight low window. And of course, as practice, but I know you guys are interested to see any type of Aaron Rodgers throws on the practice field. So I'm here to provide that to you, courtesy of the New York Jets. Now let's talk about what happened today on the practice field with Aaron Rodgers. He only played in 7-on-7. Robert Saleh did not want Aaron Rodgers out there for 11-on-11 because he said, quote, he does not want anybody near his legs because, of course, Aaron Rodgers did tweak his calf muscle a couple weeks back, and he's back out there fully participating, but Zach Wilson's playing with the ones on 11-on-11, but Aaron Rodgers is playing 7-on-7. And if you guys don't know what the difference is with that, 7-on-7 is just a quarterback going up against wide receivers and corners, and then 11-on-11 is when there's a live pass rush. Even though that there's no pads on, they're still doing some reps and still, going after the quarterback. There's like would-be sacks. Like, for example, Jermaine Johnson had a would-be sack today at practice, but against Zach Wilson and Tim Boyle, but there's no pads on. So the Jets are being smart. They're making sure Rodgers is staying healthy and no one's near his legs this early in OTAs. So there was a touchdown throw, and we don't have a video yet, but I guarantee you there will be a video posted by the Jets eventually. Aaron Rodgers threw up an 8-yard touchdown to Garrett Wilson, who caught it over DJ Reed, and Garrett Wilson is looking darn freaking good. We've seen a lot of clips of him already at practice. Here's a tweet from Connor Hughes, who see him in person right now. He said, quote, Garrett Wilson looks so much more fluid, comfortable with everything he's doing at practice this year, which you could tell is leading to a boost in confidence. He and Rodgers could be a very dangerous duo. Now, all of us Jets fans have so much high expectations for Garrett Wilson. It's ridiculous in year number 2, but the hype is real, folks. What Garrett Wilson can do with Aaron Rodgers this season is nothing short of magic. I think that he has a chance to be one of the top receivers in the entire game, and I know that sounds crazy, but I think he has the talent, and the Jets have the quarterback to get it done. And the fact that he is getting that repertoire and he's getting that connection with Aaron Rodgers this early in camp really gets me excited, and the fact that he's going up there snagging those touchdowns already from Aaron Rodgers over DJ Reed, it's an absolute beautiful thing to see. So shout out to Aaron Rodgers for continuing his connection with Garrett Wilson. Overall, Aaron Rodgers was 4 for 5 on 7v7 apparently, and so that's really all the stuff we saw from Aaron Rodgers today at practice. Now, there is another player that I do want to break down that is just came to OTAs for the first time this week, and that's Carl Lawson. Carl Lawson gained a lot of freaking muscle. I mean, Carl Lawson looks like an absolute monster. Now, Robert Saleh also talked about Carl Lawson, and I want to break this down because Carl Lawson's coming off a season where he had an Achilles injury, right? And he looked pretty good last year for a player that was coming off an Achilles injury. A career high in sacks after 1 year removed from missing the entire season from an Achilles is pretty darn impressive. And Robert Saleh said that usually an Achilles injury, the year 2 after that injury of playing football is when you get back to your old self. And Saleh actually referenced Richard Sherman back with the San Francisco 49er days when the first year after the Achilles injury, Sherman wasn't really himself. He was trying to figure out himself mentally and physically. And then year 2 in 2019, that's when Sherman became the Richard Sherman all-time great corner that he is, after having one full season to kind of really get that Achilles back in shape. And then year 2 was that. So now expect the same thing with Carl Lawson, because do I have to remind you guys what Carl Lawson was doing at training camp for the New York Jets the first year he signed the contract here before he tore his Achilles heading into that season? We all thought that we got our new franchise edge. We're going to have a sack leader. We're going to get 15-plus sacks from him. I mean, he was the best player on the New York Jets during that offseason before he got injured. I remember that injury was so crucial for us as a fan base and the team because we knew how important Carl Lawson was. So if he can get back to that unblockable self, he's got the muscle. We need edge rushers to get after the quarterback. The depth on this defensive line is absolutely ridiculous. He is going to be an X factor of this defensive line because if he can get us double-digit sacks with Jermaine Johnson entering year number 2, with Quinnen Williams beefing up the middle, with having Michael Clemens getting up to 290-plus pounds, with all the depth that we have with John Franklin Myers, Bryce Huff, the rookie Will McDonald. I mean, you guys know the big boys that are on the defensive line. So if Carl Lawson can get to his self where we're giving him that $15 million contract. I know he got restructured, but he's living up to that. And I have a lot of high expectations for Carl Lawson. He's kind of one of those players that I think Jets fans are kind of forgetting about just because there's so many players on this Jets team to be excited about. It's not like it's a bad thing that we're missing out on Carl Lawson, but there's so many other aspects and different parts of this Jets team that we're excited about that I think some of us are just forgetting that, yeah, Carl Lawson's a really good football player, and he looked pretty darn good last year after coming off an Achilles injury. And now that he's not rehabbing all offseason and he had a full season of training and getting his whole body in shape, watch out. Carl Lawson's coming, and I'm excited to see what he's got in store. So to recap the whole day of OTAs today, I do want to show you guys this tweets, the notes from Rich Cimini of ESPN. Here's what he had to say in totality of some notes that he had. He said, quote, non-Rodgers takeaways from the Jets. Nice day for Zach Wilson, who ran the first-team offense in 11-on-11. He went 5 for 5 in the only 11-on-11 period, mostly on short stuff. He went 6 for 8 in 7-on-7, including 2 for 4 in red zone. Overall, seemed comfortable. Lots of checkdowns. So that's a Zach Wilson update. He did go 5 for 5 in the 11-on-11 team drills. Zach Rosenblatt said he had some solid throws. Of course, it's good to see Zach Wilson make some progressions when he is with that first team with an 11-on-11 until Aaron Rodgers gets there. So definitely some positive signs that Zach Wilson continues his development. We'll see what he looks like in preseason because we're going to see a lot of Zach Wilson then. And then some other players that are non-Rodgers related, according to Rich Cimini. Running back Travis Dye had a nice grab on a ball by Aaron Rodgers. Travis Dye is an undrafted running back from USC, I believe. He tore his ACL, which led him to go undrafted. He was a player that probably would have been drafted if he was not tore his ACL. So Travis Dye is a player to look out for. Remember, last year, Zonovan Knight was an undrafted free agent running back who made an impact. You never know. Travis Dye can make his way up there. I know the running back room is crowded already with the guys of Breece Hall, Michael Carter, Bam Knight, and our new rookie Izzy. But hey, Travis Dye seems to be that fifth running back on this roster and probably be that preseason back to really look forward to watching. Some offensive line stuff that Rich Cimini is noting is from offensive line left to right. Max Mitchell seemed to be at left tackle today. Lincoln Tomlinson at left guard, Schweitzer at center, AVT at right guard, and Turner at right tackle. Lots of rotation this time of year. That's because there's a lot of players just not out there. It's not mandatory, so we do not have the full starting offensive line yet. That's still something that the Jets are going to figure out as they head into the training camp at the end of July. And then undrafted free agent safety, Marquise Waters with an interception on a deflected pass. And then also, it's not listed here on Rich Cimini, but I did see a tweet that Trey Dean, I believe, had a pick 6 on Chris Streveler. Trey Dean is one of those undrafted free agent safeties that I'm really excited about, and I think that he has a potential to actually make this roster, which is really, really great. And then some. We'll finish off the video with some bad news. Not really bad news, but just to give you guys an update of who is rehabbing, who is dealing with some injuries, and who are the players that are not participating in practice. Those are guys of McCole Hardman, Breece Hall, Mekhi Becton, Randall Cobb, Tyler Conklin, and Michael Clemens. I don't know the injuries that they're dealing with. I don't know what's holding them back from getting onto the practice field. I mean, we know that Breece Hall is coming off of ACL. That's obvious. Mekhi Becton still rehabbing that knee. McCole Hardman got shut down last year with the Chiefs. So we'll see what happens with these players. The hope is that most of these guys will be ready to go for training camp and not be rehabbing. But yeah, guys, that's the recap of OTAs from this morning. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section if you guys enjoyed today's video, and hit that thumbs up button, and also comment a Jet emoji if you stayed all the way to the end. I appreciate you guys big time, and as always, let's go Jets, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace out.